Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live on vacation? With all the amazing homes and activities here in Northeast Florida, it can seem like you're doing just that. We're Brady and Alyssa Hammond, and we invite you to join us as we dive into the premier communities, properties, and attractions that make Northeast Florida such a desired destination. Coming up on Property Tours, Alyssa and I are going to have a wild time at the award-winning Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. We'll then head south along the St. Johns River to visit a recently constructed luxury home in the popular Rivertown community. The Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens is home to over 2,000 rare and exotic animals, and takes great pride in being its own botanical garden with over 1,000 varieties of beautiful plant species, and also offers many unique activities for kids and adults alike. Before our adventure, Alyssa and I met with Curtis Dvorak, who serves as an ambassador for the Jacksonville Zoo as its wildlife wanderer. Now, Curtis's claim to fame, he was the original Jax DeVille, the Jacksonville Jaguar mascot.
Be a life-size stuffed animal for a career, and then also come work at a zoo. Like 10-year-old me is really stoked.
I'll say I was blown away the first time I came to the Jacksonville Zoo. The lion is literally out there roaring.
Yeah. He pops off just about every hour. He'll probably pop off here soon. He just likes to remind everybody, like, I'm still here. But it's also a sign of happy animals. So that's the first thing I would tell people, is know that our animals get world-class care. When you come here, it's kind of up to you. If you want to get our total experience ticket, you can do that, where you'll get to ride the train, you'll get to go to the 4D theater, you get to ride the carousel, you get to come feed the giraffes, the stingrays. We got the splash pad back there. But it's best if you have a child with you. You know, like it's a little awkward if it's just a bunch of adults running into the splash pad.
Or at least pretend you have one in there somewhere. Like, oh,
yeah.
I'm watching my kid.
Yeah, exactly. I'm biased, but I've been to a lot of zoos, and I've not seen gardens like we have. I mean, our gardens are everywhere, not just on the guest side, but even out here, every single habitat for our animals, our horticulture team plans all of the plants and things that go into it.
So what are your most popular attractions?
Whenever we have a baby animal, that is the hot attraction. You know, for a while, Banks, when he was a cub, oh man, I mean, the packed around his exhibit. Right now, specifically, we moved our alligators to a new exhibit. Everybody's freaking out about that because they're in a totally new habitat and you can see them better.
So what upcoming plans are there?
A brand new entrance to the zoo that's being built, and it is a huge skyscape that is kind of shaped like the back of a manatee, and then under that skyscape you have a Florida habitat, and we'll have manatees in there, and there'll also be, you know, Florida fish in there and other wildlife. This new entrance is going to come in and it's going to create a loop where as you come into the main entrance, you can go south and you'll hit the tigers right away.
Okay.
So one of our best exhibits that has won national awards, you'll be able to get to it right away. But then if you go north, you'll be able to head straight into Africa. And the current entrance that you come in is going to turn into our education campus.
You need to come out and check out this zoo. All the events, all the activities, and just more constantly coming.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming out and showcasing our Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
Upon arriving at the zoo and passing through base camp, we headed to the first section of the park, Africa.
Das peñas manabisidabas.
What was that?
That was the opening song of Lion King. Figured it was appropriate for the occasion.
Those aren't exactly the words to that, but anyway. As you might expect, Africa has many exhibits, such as a large savanna that includes several different animals and even some impressive rhinos.
You ever wondered what it'd be like to saddle up on one of those things?
No. Africa also has its own reptile house.
This house has some impressive snakes, including a king cobra, green mamba, ball python, and others. You like snakes, don't you?
Not my favorite, but I did really enjoy the elephant exhibit.
I see an elephant.
The elephants were very active, especially this guy who was definitely showing off his decorative skills building upon this giant tire stack.
Another immersive exhibit is the African lion.
The lions in this exhibit are amazing. I've never heard a lion roar like the ones at the Jacksonville Zoo. I mean, this guy really lets people know who the king of the jungle is.
Another African animal featured are the giraffes at the Giraffe Overlook.
The cool thing about this exhibit is that you have the option of actually feeding the giraffes yourself.
Which the kids definitely enjoyed. After finishing up with the African animals, we headed over to our next stop at the award-winning Range of the Jaguar exhibit.
I know everyone's heard of the Jacksonville Jaguars NFL team, but we've got the real leader of the real Jaguars here, Tina Torres. Tina, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I know Trevor Lawrence and the rest of the Jags aren't back on exhibit, but what Jaguars do we have?
Our youngest male Jaguar, Banks, he's not even at full size yet. He's only about 95 pounds. And then we have Harry and Babette, and they are his mom and dad.
What do you guys feed the Jaguars?
Primarily ground beef, but they do occasionally get whole prey items, so we'll feed them whole chicken, whole rabbit, guinea pigs. They also do a lot of hunting on their own. We will sometimes occasionally find possum carcasses on the exhibit. I'm sure they like to eat rats and birds. They're great hunters, great fishermen. And something also misconstrued is that people don't realize they're not on the ground. They're in the trees. So you don't want to look at the ground, you want to look.
So how do you keep them from hunting like the zookeepers?
Oh, well, we don't get anywhere near them. I mean, we always have a barrier, I should say, between us and them. These guys are not domesticated by any means. They will do some real damage on anyone who gets near them.
Do Jaguars roar?
They don't necessarily roar like a lion, but they do location call, and you'll hear that like heavy grunting breathing. Yeah.
Why, when I'm doing my own kind of grunting and stuff, you always whack me and tell me to stop it? Well, I gotta say, people think of Jacksonville, they think of the Jaguars, so it's good to meet the true leader of the Jaguars.
I love them so much. They're my favorite species to work with.
The Range of the Jaguar area also includes some other interesting exhibits such as the Lost Temple.
I felt like Indiana Jones up in this place, and there are lots of interesting South American animals such as bats, poison frogs, iguanas, and even an anaconda. Now what do you think of that?
I think I prefer animals outside this area such as the anteater and these giant otters.
Okay, I'll admit those are a little bit cuter.
After a snack break, our next stop was the kids' play park that includes an elaborate playground, splash pad, carousel, 4D theater, petting zoo, and more.
I mean, you could almost spend a full day just in here, especially if you have kids.
And we didn't even mention the penguin exhibit just behind the playground. But penguins are certainly not the only birds featured at the Jacksonville Zoo, as we soon discovered when we arrived at the Lorkeet landing where our kids got to feed the birds.
And you just hold it right up to the bird and they just lick it off for you, okay? Hang on to that for me.
Here we go. Oh yeah.
Seems like we get to feed a lot of animals at this zoo.
Yes, it's cool how they offer so many opportunities to get up close and interact with the animals.
I know of one they won't want us interacting with though.
Now behind us is a cassowary bird. It is the most dangerous bird to humans, according to Wikipedia. The thing has a very sharp claw on its middle toe, so it can really cause some pain.
And impale you?
Yes, so though it is beautiful, you gotta watch it.
As we headed toward the Land of the Tiger exhibit, we passed through some majestic bamboo forests, beautiful gardens, and some other Asian animals such as Komodo dragons,
The world's largest lizard.
warty pigs, and my favorite, these adorable otters.
More otters, huh?
Yes, but these ones were much smaller ones, known as Asian small-clawed otters.
Well, eventually, we arrived at the exhibit of my favorite animal, the Land of the Tiger. The tigers at this zoo are very active. I heard one of the big ones roaring similarly to the lion from earlier, and even saw another stalk a service dog that happened to be amongst the crowd.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a zoo with more impressive big cat exhibits.
I definitely agree with that. As someone who's grown up going to zoos, I don't think I've ever been to one where the big cats are so prominently featured and active. The Jacksonville Zoo does big cats right.
Having made it to the end of the park, it was time to circle around and head back towards the exit.
Though we did stop for some food at the Trout River Grill.
It is good. It tastes like some chicken tenders with a bun wrapped around it.
Okay.
Good.
As well as visit a few more exciting sections along the way, including the Primate Forest.
Another award-winning exhibit that includes several different types of apes and monkeys, such as bonobos,
They look like chimpanzees, but they're not.
gorillas,
It is amazing how close you can get to these guys.
mandrills,
Rafiki in the house with those shiny red booties.
shiny red booties. The Wild Florida Loop is also very interesting.
Some of the animals featured include the bald eagle, black bears, manatees, and of course, alligators. What do you think of these things?
No thanks.
I know you love reptiles, so you'll be happy to hear we have another reptile house featuring rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, and more. You know, my dad got bit by a rattlesnake once. Doesn't recommend it.
Our final experience before heading out was feeding the stingrays at Stingray Bay.
So we just put our arm in said pond, and here he comes.
Wow.
Oh,
Like a pro.
now that's cool. He comes right up and gets it.
Whoa, you did it! Good job!
Those stingrays were honestly kind of cute, sneaking up to your hand and catching the little fish. Felt like I was giving candy to a baby.
Candy to a baby? You're not supposed to give candy to a baby.
Isn't that a phrase or something?
No. Overall, we had a great time at the Jacksonville Zoo.
The animals are clearly happy and well cared for, as you can tell by how active and responsive they are. Definitely worth the trip if you ever get the urge to get your wild side on.
Okay.
When we come back on Property Tours, we'll head south along the St. Johns River to visit a recently constructed luxury home in the popular Rivertown community.
We are at one of the 3 amenity centers located in Rivertown.
Pretty hard to beat a pool plus a water view.
Definitely. Now, there's another amenity center that has a lazy river. This begs the question, which do you prefer? That river or the lazy river?
Well, I mean, that is very beautiful, but I do like a lazy river, for sure.
Lazy is as lazy does.
Hey.
Also located along the St. Johns River, though to the south within St. Johns County, Rivertown is an award-winning master-planned community that offers its residents some of the most unique and exciting amenities throughout all of Florida, including its beautiful Rivertown Park, the popular River Club, the kid-friendly River House, as well as the recently constructed River Lodge. Rivertown is also known for its numerous nature trails, playgrounds, amphitheater, and more.
We're the Abalafia family. We previously were in North Georgia, but we missed the beach, so we moved to Northeast Florida. What we enjoy the most about living in Rivertown is the community feel and all of the events and activities. We chose this house because it was a blank canvas on a lake where the layout was perfect and fitting for our family. Do you have anything to say, or are you just going to sit there?
We are at the Abalafia residence about to experience what it's like to live in Rivertown.
This home was built in 2023, has 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and is just over 3,500 square feet.
Let's do this thing.
Musical. Patriotic. I like it.
Okay.
Hey guys.
Welcome in.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Well, we've been here for just over a year.
Well, for just over a year, it looks like you guys have done a lot to it. I think we need to go check
have.
this out.
Yeah.
This is our main living area. I intentionally have not put window treatments up because we love the outdoors and we love all the natural light.
Lucas, I can see why you got to wear those sunglasses.
I have
Make
to
it get a little bright.
I have to. It's too bright in here.
So tell us about the kitchen.
The backsplash was the inspiration for the entire house, and the pattern on it is really what complements the whole space because it does combine with the living area.
I like this glass fish here too.
Yeah, that's actually a punch bowl.
Okay.
I've taken it to many events.
Well, the layout of the house is so nice. I mean, well, you mentioned the punch bowl. I bet you guys could throw some great neighborhood parties here.
We love to entertain, we always have.
Is this a wine cellar?
I came up with the idea to cut the wall and incorporate a wine room. Lucas has a collection of beer mugs and just having like a nice display of wine.
There's a pretty cool room in the garage, I believe, Lucas, that seems like there's less mermaids and maybe some more merman kind of feel.
I have my whole office set up in there. I have the TV for game day and a couple of lazy boys, so it's a spot for me to get away.
And then we have a regular office and a dining room.
And pretty cool outdoor setup.
Now this is what I'm talking about.
I put bar stools in front of the fire pit area. I think most pools now have a sun shelf with these ledge lounger chairs. That's always
Lucas,
fun.
that's how you got such a beautiful brown
Absolutely.
going on the skin.
Yeah, I come out here every day between 3 and 4, and I tan.
I can see that. And it looks like it's a light up pool.
It is.
So you can get this thing lit up with the fire pit going.
So tell us, Lucas, about the outdoor kitchen.
Well, that I can speak more to. We have a dual burner hibachi, and then we have a low dual burner boiler. For the crawfish boils, we put on about 2 of those a year. And then on this side over here, we have our fridge, dual kegerator, and then just the utility space.
What was the thinking in going with the turf instead of just the natural grass?
Snakes. Knock on wood. We have not had any snake sightings at all. You know, one thing that's amazing about Rivertown is all of the natural preserves, but, you know, when it comes to the critters, they can come out. It's also less maintenance. We do have a separate dog run area where our Huscador, Hatfield the Huscador, hangs out.
Well, I bet the snakes don't like him or the turf very much.
That's true.
So.
I think
probably don't like Lucas very much
Yeah.
either. I bet he's probably not very
That's what
nice to
Hatfield's for. I'm like Indiana Jones. I don't deal with snakes.
I'm going to do a quick cannonball despite what she says, and then let's go back inside and see what else we got in store.
Go
Wait
for
till
it.
we're done.
This is the master suite. Really, the feel for this room is just very boho-y, comfortable. We have a nice view of the backyard.
Those lights are just sweet. I mean, they're kind of Tesla kind of thing. You know?
Industrial.
Industrial. Okay, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay.
He's not the design guy. So this bathroom is pretty spectacular, especially the size of this shower.
What they've done with it, with adding the dual heads and everything, it's nice.
Well, I bet Lucas is kind of like me. We can get a little sweaty, a little dirty. So the more shower heads you have, the better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Probably.
The kids actually like it too, because then you know, you got all the shower heads going and all the toys everywhere.
Splash pad.
Right, exactly. The laundry room, we're big beach goers, so me thinking, I was like, what are we gonna do with all the sandy stuff? Bring it through the house? No. We had a hole cut out because the 2-car garage is on the opposite side of the laundry room, so we have a little drop zone.
Well, Alyssa's in there doing laundry. I would probably come prank her all the time and just pop that thing open and scare like, boom! Sorry to give him some ideas.
No, thanks, Brady.
So what all do we have upstairs?
Kid zone.
Ooh, kid zone.
So now we're in the loft. This is where they hang out.
How many bedrooms up here again?
There's 4. The
Okay.
girls have their own separate space away from the boys.
Yes, the girls' wing and the boys' wing.
Yes.
Yeah, and boys' wing. I mean, I love the Star Wars theming. And the lightsaber right above the bed, that's genius. If a villain or intruder comes in, you can just quickly access.
He's on it.
And you can take someone out.
He'd be the first one to attack, for sure.
Tell me about this acoustic paneling we have going on here.
Because of the high ceilings and the loft being open to down below, there is a little bit of noise control. So I found these acoustic wood veneers, and they're lined with acoustic foam on the back of them. And they're pretty, so they give a nice accent to the space too.
So what is your favorite part of the house?
The outside living area. I like to grill and do my boils, so that's where you'll find me on the weekend.
I have to agree on the outside. Our sliders actually collapse completely, so we can open them up so the living room comes into the patio. It's like outdoors kind of comes in.
What are some of your favorite parts about living here in Rivertown?
I like all the neighbors, all their cool businesses, and what everybody has to offer. And obviously the amenities are pretty great. And being able to go down to the river and hang out, that's definitely a plus.
There's always something going on. events or just neighbors, you guys want to meet up at the lodge, you know, we'll just kind of all jump on our golf carts and pop over.
Now, of those 3 amenity centers, which would be your favorite?
So we have the kids, probably the River Lodge, so they can do the lazy river, the slide and all that, and maybe the river house with them. But for us, probably going to the river club and just, it's more like adults and more low key. I mean, you could bring your kids, but we choose not to.
Well, scenic wise, the river club is on the river.
Right.
So it is beautiful. The sunsets are like, you can't even like beat it. You're just like, wow, I live here.
How does living in Northeast Florida compare to living in Georgia?
I mean, you can't beat being 25 minutes from St. Augustine and then a couple more minutes you're on, you know, 1 of 5 drive-on beaches with your truck. So I'd rather hang out, drink a margarita and see dolphins than wander around looking for Sasquatch all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Lucas, Victoria, we really appreciate you having us in your house and showing us what it's like to live here in Rivertown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You guys will have to come over sometime with the kids.
Yes, definitely.
Now it's time to take a quick look at the real estate market in Rivertown. Single-family homes in Rivertown sold for an average of $711,000 over the past year, which is up 8.5% from the previous year when the average was $655,000, and up over 144% from a decade ago when the average was $291,000. Currently, there are 35 listings in Rivertown ranging in price from $405,000 to $1.45 million. Thanks for joining us in Northeast Florida today. Be sure to tune in next week when we explore St. Augustine's Old Town museums, as well as this historic home on famous St. George Street. For further market information or to rewatch any of our episodes, check out our website, hammondfamilygroup.com.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Oh yeah, this is good.
Go ahead.
Are we ready?
That was really awkward.
Well, we're not going to start talking when we go up the stairs.
Okay, so what was the point of that? Just
I don't know.